What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome back to Commanders HQ, your go-to spot for everything Washington Commanders. Before we dive into today's huge news, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. The team is making moves, and we're here to break them all down for you. We're seeing this franchise push hard to get better, and after an incredible 2024 season that saw us reach the NFC Championship game, we know the front office isn't done yet. But does trading for Deebo Samuel bring us closer to a Super Bowl? Let's talk about it. The Washington Commanders have officially acquired Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a fifth-round pick. This is a move that adds even more firepower to an already dangerous offense led by Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. But while the addition of Samuel is exciting, some analysts are questioning whether it's enough to truly close the gap between Washington and the NFC's elite teams, particularly the Philadelphia Eagles. Samuel, a former All-Pro wide receiver, has been one of the most versatile playmakers in the league. In 2021, he exploded for 405 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, proving to be an elite weapon both as a receiver and a runner. However, his production has dipped in recent years, and in 2024, he finished with just 670 yards and 51 receptions. Injuries and offensive changes in San Francisco played a role in that decline. But Washington is betting on Samuel rediscovering his top form. Adding Deebo Samuel to an offense that already features Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Brian Robinson Jr. is a scary thought for opposing defenses. New offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury is known for his creative schemes, and you can bet he's already drawing up ways to maximize Samuel's versatility. Samuel thrives in space, and his ability to make plays after the catch is exactly what this offense needs. Daniel's dual threat ability will also create more opportunities for Samuel to exploit mismatches, particularly when defenses have to account for McLaurin stretching the field. This means Samuel can be used in motion, in the slot, or even in the backfield, similar to how he was utilized in San Francisco. Another key aspect? Samuel's physicality. He's not just a finesse player, he's one of the toughest receivers in the league, capable of breaking tackles and making plays even in tight coverage. That kind of grit will be a huge asset in Washington's offense, especially in the cold weather games late in the season. As exciting as this move is, ESPN's Dan Orlovsky had a fair point when he said, "The Commanders can't fall into the trap of thinking they're just one move away." While the addition of Samuel is a step in the right direction, Washington still has areas that need improvement, most notably the defense. Last season, the Commanders allowed 23 points per game, ranking in the middle of the pack. While the defense had its moments, the lack of a consistent pass rush and struggles in the secondary were exposed against elite offenses, particularly in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. If Washington wants to truly contend for a Super Bowl, they can't just rely on outscoring opponents. They need a defense that can shut teams down when it matters most. One name that has been linked to Washington in recent mock drafts is Georgia's Michael Williams. A dominant edge rusher, Williams has drawn comparisons to former number 1 overall pick Trayvon Walker due to his size, athleticism, and ability to disrupt plays in the backfield. He didn't participate in drills at the NFL Scouting Combine, but scouts believe he will post elite numbers at Georgia's Pro Day. Williams would be an intriguing fit in Dan Quinn's defensive scheme. The Commanders need a long-term solution. At edge rusher, and pairing Williams with a veteran pass rusher could create a dangerous tandem. His college production may not jump off the page, but his raw talent and ability to use his length effectively make him a high-upside prospect. If Washington selects Williams with the 29th overall pick, it would signal a commitment to building a balanced team, one that can dominate on both sides of the ball. The Deebo Samuel trade shows that Washington is serious about competing now. But the front office can't stop here. They have the cap space and draft capital to continue improving this roster, and if they play their cards right, they can set themselves up for sustained success. Here are a few moves we could see next. Adding a veteran pass rusher. Whether it's through free agency or a trade, getting an experienced edge rusher would help solidify the defensive front. Shoring up the secondary, the Commanders need to add depth at cornerback, especially after moving on from Emmanuel Forbes. Expect them to target a playmaker in the draft or free agency, extending key players. With the team trending upward, locking up foundational pieces like McLaurin and Daniels to long-term deals will be a priority. Bobby Wagner is not just another veteran player, he's been the heart and soul of this defense. Last season, Wagner joined a Washington defense that ranked dead last in both yards and points allowed in 2023. But with his leadership and playmaking ability, he played a crucial role in turning things around. Wagner's 2024 season stats speak for themselves. 32 tackles, leading the team. 10 tackles for loss. 2 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. 2 fumble recoveries and 1 forced fumble. Not only that, but Wagner played 99% of Washington's defensive snaps, proving that even at 34 years old, he remains one of the most durable and reliable linebackers in the NFL. Pro Football Focus even graded him as the 3rd best linebacker in the league for the 2024 season. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox recently wrote that Wagner will be a hot commodity in free agency. And let's be honest, there are plenty of teams out there that would love to add a veteran leader of his caliber to their defense. Washington has an important decision to make. Should they pay up to keep Wagner for another season, or look for a younger replacement? General Manager Adam Peters and head coach Dan Quinn have to weigh the pros and cons carefully. There are a few key reasons why bringing Wagner back makes sense. Leadership and experience. Wagner is a 9-time Pro Bowler and 6-time first-team All-Pro. His leadership in the locker room is invaluable, especially for a young team that is still learning how to win at the highest level. Defensive stability. Last season, the Commanders took a major step forward on defense. Letting Wagner walk could create a huge hole in the middle of the defense, which could set the team back. Championship window. The Commanders are in win-now mode. Jaden Daniels had a historic rookie season, and Washington came within 1 game of the Super Bowl. This is not the time to take a step backward on defense. On the flip side, there are some reasons why the Commanders could decide to let Wagner walk: age and longevity. Wagner is 34 years old. While he has been remarkably durable, at some point, every player slows down. Washington may want to get younger at the position. Salary cap considerations. While the Commanders have cap space, they also need to invest in other areas, like adding more pass rushers or improving the offensive line. Wagner will command a solid contract, and Washington may prioritize spending elsewhere. Future planning. If Washington lets Wagner go, they could use their first-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to target a young linebacker, or sign a younger free agent to build for the long term. Regardless of what happens with Wagner, one thing is clear: the Commanders are building something special. And speaking of that, let's talk about Jaden Daniels for a second. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox recently named Daniels the best 24-year-old player in the NFL right now. That's a huge honor, and speaks volumes about what Washington has in their young franchise quarterback. Daniels' rookie season was nothing short of spectacular. 100 turtle. Quarterback rating, 91 rushing yards Pro Bowl selection. Led Washington to the NFC Championship game. When you have a young star quarterback like Daniels, every decision the team makes needs to be about maximizing his potential and keeping the team in contention. Whether that means re-signing Wagner or using those resources to improve other areas, Washington has to make the right call. Commanders fans, this is an exciting time. Deebo Samuel is a dynamic playmaker who makes this offense even more dangerous. But we have to remember, one move isn't enough. If this team truly wants to compete for a Super Bowl, they need to continue making smart, aggressive moves on both sides of the ball. So what do you think? Is the Deebo Samuel trade enough to make the Commanders Super Bowl contenders? What moves should the front office make next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Commanders HQ update. We'll be covering every move, every rumor, and every game as we head into the 2025 season. Until next time, hail to the Commanders!